But first, of course, we have our quotes of the day from Abraham and the universe. Let's see what the universe and Abraham have in store for us today. First, from the universe. Just curious, when was the last time you looked into a mirror and addressed yourself as gorgeous, magnificent, or sublime? It matters. Here's looking at you, gorgeous, the universe. Universe having a little fun with us today, and definitely a very apropos quote from my guest, who is definitely knows style. So we'll talk more about that shortly. Let's see what Abraham has in store for us today. Attempting to control others attracts more to be controlled. It is easy to understand you would come to the conclusion that your path to feeling good is through influencing or controlling the behavior of others. But as you attempt to control them through influence or coercion, you discover that not only can you not contain them, but your attention to them brings more like them into your experience. You simply cannot get to where you want to be by controlling or eliminating the unwanted. Abraham. Very interesting quote from Abraham. A little bit different one than what we usually get, talking about control. And really, though, it's very much in alignment with a lot of what Abraham talks about, because when you're attempting to control others, and it doesn't matter whether it's trying to control the environment, trying to control people, trying to control animals, whatever you're trying to control, the more you're focusing on the fact that, like, these things aren't doing what you want them to do, the more you're going to attract other things that aren't doing what you want them to do. And so the more you focus on those things, the more that energy is held in your field, the more you're going to find it, the more you're going to have to control this and control that and control this and control that. And before you know it, you have to control the whole universe, which, as we know, is way beyond our control. Whereas if we learn to trust and not worry about what other people think, say, or do, but focus on ourselves and our own actions, our own choices, our own focus, and our own vibration, that is something we can control. Because ultimately, we have no control over what happens to us, over what's going on in the universe, but we do have 100% control over how we respond, how we show up, who we are being in the moment. So, a very interesting kind of quote from Abraham, just reminding us not to focus on what everybody else is doing. That doesn't serve us. That doesn't empower us. That doesn't bring us to a greater place, but to focus on how we're showing up. And it's an influence and control. Influencing is not about controlling other people. Influence is by leading by example. And that's truly the way that we influence people. When we show up as a better version of ourselves, we call others to show up as better version of themselves. And ultimately, this is not something to judge anybody about, because we don't know truly what other people's lives are like. We haven't walked a mile in their shoes. We haven't lived their life. We don't know what's going on inside of them. So sometimes that outward process may seem a little messy, may seem, oh, I would never do something like that. But you don't know. And if you were in that person's exact same situation, exact same background, exact same experiences, maybe you would have. So let's stop worrying about what everyone else is doing, and let's focus on developing ourselves, on doing that inner work, on growth, and on being the example. So, 2 wonderful quotes from the universe and from Abraham. I hope you've enjoyed them. We'll have 2 more quotes for you next week, of course.